Hi, it's Ricky of Moshville Times here once again. Now, tonight we have Lancaster-based new wave of British heavy metal band Promethium. That wasn't easy to say, ladies and gentlemen. We've got guitarist, vocalist Jeff Waters, Dan, and we also have bassist Ben. But yeah, so guitarist Andy, drummer Stu, and vocalist James are just too camera shy to come on. So it just means that we've got free reign to take the mickey out of them then. So feel free, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, how the devil are you guys?
Good.
Yeah.
Come on, Dan, speak up. You don't talk enough, Dan. Come on.
I haven't. I've got a week off work, Anna. I'm all right. Yeah. Wife's away.
I'm doing Dan's job for him whilst he's away.
Yeah. So no, wife's away. I've got a list of stuff I can't do. List of stuff I can do. That's about it, really, to be honest.
So you're going to do like 6 days on everything Promethium, and then the last day you're going to run about the house like a blue arse fly, tidying everything up.
I actually did that yesterday. Did the tip run, did the hoovering.
You're so rock and roll, Dan. So rock
I
and
did,
roll.
honestly. Even cleaned. You know, I did this morning, cleaned the ceiling in the bathroom.
Did you? Did you? You're a good boy. If I was to speak to your wife, oh, sorry, I already have done. You're definitely a keeper. But we're going to start off with a couple of things before we go on to the album Bleeding the Ghost then. So am I right in saying it was just Ben, Stuart and yourself, Dan, from the last album Revisions? So what are you allowed to talk about what happened before, or do you want to talk about the new lineup, how you found them?
I just got rid of everyone. I was like, fuck off. That was it. It's like, it pissed me off. And
you do that after every album.
I know, that was it. You just do it. It's like, fuck you now. No, it was just, there was, COVID was a hard time for everyone. And a lot of things happened during COVID. Our old drummer, Stu came on during COVID. Aidan got offered something else to do, and it was suitable for him to do it, to be honest. And he needed to, you know, and it was just like, you know what, you go do that, that's fine. Rossi, just thing about COVID, Rossi had been with us since day one, and you know, he's a good mate. Still, there's no issues, and he just realised that he just had enough. COVID affected him from the point of view that he didn't want to do it anymore. That was it. He just got it, and he didn't also like direction of the sort of the new material. And Steve was Steve. I love Steve to bits, and he's a good mate. And he actually did a gig with us a few months ago, just as a last minute fill-in. And he did a fantastic job, did a great thing, but he had a few personal issues, and it was time that we had to do a few things and do a bit of a change. And you know what? We did a change, and it was really, really good, and it was positive. We got James in, brilliant singer, really good, and he's done great.
It's one of these things that you always do. You always find these vocalists. I mean, Steve was a great singer, but James on this record, wow.
James, you see, so Ben, it's quite funny. Like basically, the whole band near enough works together. So like Ben just started working with us. James worked with us and then left and has just come back. And I got introduced to James. James was like, "Hey, I'm a singer-songwriter." And I was like, "All right, cool." And he sort of goes around doing like these gigs at the weekend, sort of covers gigs and stuff. And he's one of the most, he's hilarious, but he's one of the most talented musicians you'll ever see. He's brilliant.
He's probably the best guitarist. Actually, no, I was going to say Andy's the best guitarist. James is the second best guitarist in the band.
Whatever. I'll accept that. But he is. James is just he's such a great guy, but he's such a phenomenal musician. His ear is unbelievable. And he came in, he was like, I said, listen, I'm probably going to look for another vocalist. And he was like, me, I want to do it. I'm like, really? But you don't metal? And he came down to the studio and we recorded a couple of the old songs. So I was like, let's just try it, test you out, see what it's like.
Yeah.
And we were in there 5 minutes, and the guy, our engineer, was just like, he said, he can't hear me. He goes, but you got to fucking get him. I want to work with this guy. And I was like, okay, all right, cool. And I just said to everyone, I said, trust me. And he came down, and that was it. And it's taken him just a tiny bit of time to get used to metal, but he's done great. Yeah. And Andy, when we talked about it, we weren't going to get another guitar player till after the album was done. And I was like, I know who we're going to get. And again, I said, just trust me. I said, this guy, he's an old friend. He's like school buddy. He's my guitar hero. This is the guy who influenced me to play guitar. I was like, we've got to get him. And Andy was sort of like a bit tiny bit first because like commitment wise and everything, and just because he had a couple of other things. And I said, listen, it's not too much. You can do it. We can work around it. Everything's going to be fine. And he came down and I said, listen, and he blew everyone away straight away. He learned the stuff. He did it. And I said to him, I said, we've got a couple of solos on the album. I said, I want to get you on it. And then 2 solos turned into like 3 or 4. And then there was some harmonies. And he came in and he did such a great job. But again, his ear. We've got such a good lineup now that we have such a good laugh. And not that we didn't before, but it's just nice and fresh. And especially Stu, the drummer. I mean, he's just like, he's not a drummer, he's an arranger. He's got a brilliant ear. And if he can convince me and Ben to do something like an extra 2 bars, which, you know, normally like, no, it's 4. It's got to be 4, and then it's 8 or 6. And he goes, let's do 7. No. And he's great.
Kind of a bit like kind of Lars, but not Danish.
Yeah, he is. But he's like, the thing about him...
He's a better drummer than Lars, I can give you that.
The thing I feel guilty about is he's the first guy. I mean, Aidan was great. Aidan was a great drummer and I had some great times. But the thing about Stu is, every gig, I forget to turn around to look at him because he's so solid that, you know, you normally have that bit where you look back and you go, don't forget this, don't forget this, don't forget, you know, just these like little trigger points. And you forget, he's just a machine.
Yeah.
You know, that
I interact with him at least.
Yeah, you do. I forget.
Well, I'm glad that you've got a solid lineup and it seems to be working. But Ben, you know how, as Dan just admitted there, that he gets rid of everybody after every album. What's made him keep you? You must bring something to the band.
I threaten him. Well,
childcare.
The childcare. Just quickly, like, so in 2013, he actually asked me to play 2 gigs with him. I only managed to do one. Henry, who was the old bass player, ended up kind of doing the other one, stayed on bass. But then I don't know what happened, politics or whatever. Dan approached me and was like, "Do you want to play bass?" I was umming and ahhing. And then, so I joined at the tail end of 2018. And I think he's kept me, one, because our 2 lads are best mates. 2, I put up with him. And
it's a lot to put up with, isn't it?
But the key thing, the third one, is we kind of bounce off each other when it comes to writing, but also playing. Like, whenever we can on stage, we'll kind of interact with each other. But the writing side of things, it's the first time I've written with Dan, and it just kind of goes well. Even when we're kind of struggling to write something, one of us will just go, "Oh, why don't we try this?" Or we'll just play something accidentally. "What was that?" And he'll go, "Oh, I don't know, this," and vice versa. And then quite a few of the riffs have actually come from that, haven't they?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think like what we do is, and it's really, especially like during COVID, the first person I saw was Ben. So I was like, you know, we started writing. And it was just after the time I thought I'd written the full album. And then Rossi had said, I don't like any of it. It's all shit, it's crap. And like, I was like, all right, okay, right, it's crap. And then Ben was like, no, let's have a look. Perhaps it isn't. And we realized it wasn't. It was just a different direction.
No, some of it was crap.
Yeah, some of it. Most of it was, actually. It was like one song.
Dan's parts, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But no, like Ben, the funny thing is, Ben takes me out of my comfort zone and I take him out of his. And so he's like, whereas Ben will like do 10 notes, I'll say, listen, we only need those 6. And then he'll say, you've only done 2, but I think you could do 4. And it sort of just works and it's really cool. And I think even though we perhaps might not listen to the same music each other likes all the time, we write together just well. It's just really cool. But what's funny is we've already started writing for the next album. And Andy's come down, and Andy's got a phenomenal ear. Andy's one of these ones who'll go, well, this is this, and that is that, and that. And you're like, what the fuck are you on about? Like proper, just, no, can you not hear it? Because you're a minor third below that. Like, what? What that? Seriously? You fucking anal tard. What the hell are you on about? And we started writing the other night, and I'd written this song. I got a great idea. I was like, this is the song, this is it, this is everything. And Andy, he's sort of like listening, go, yeah, but I'm going to do this. And it was like, oh my God, yeah, this is where it needs to go. This was right. And I don't have to do it. And it was just like, wow. And straight away, this song was just like gone in this direction that it wasn't gone. And it was like, this is perfect. This is great. And I was like, wow, that's just one song down. So it's like, yeah, we just got a great laugh, and we, like I said, we just work together, and it's good being mates. That's the thing about it, really, to be honest.
Do you know, Ben, I may as well just wrap up my question sheet because Dan just talks for 5 minutes and answers all the bloody questions.
Okay.
This is me off, you know what I mean? But anyway, we're now going to talk about the album, Breeding the Ghost. It's a very cool album. You can't really see it because of the light and stuff like that, but it's great artwork. I like the whole package of it. I like the fact that you can actually read the lyrics. You know how you get like some CDs and stuff like that, and you can't make it out. It's like black on black. You're like, what's the point? Do they not see that before they release it? But it's very well packaged. But I have to make a complaint, Dan, because while I was doing my questions, I thought I'm going to listen to the album again, and I thought I would go on to Bandcamp. And then I thought I would go on to, it wasn't there. So I thought, oh, it must be Spotify then. And it's not been updated like since 2017. So why not?
Wow. Is that it?
I told you I'm starting with a complaint.
I thought you were going to go on about the spelling mistakes that my mum brought up as soon as she got the CD. Right, okay, cool.
No. If I was going to be bad about it, I would have said, where's my name? But that's fine. No, I took that. I accepted that. But so where's the Bandcamp and Spotify?
So honestly, I don't know if we said this last time. So we've got our own label, which I run, which is like we've done the last 4. This is the 4th release on there now. So the first 2 were labels, and it just didn't work out. We were screwed. It just didn't work out whatsoever. So I was just like, how do we do this different? And then I decided to set my own label up. So I set my own label up. And we just have a distribution. So the distribution puts it in the shops, puts it on social media, on digital, everything like that. But what we do is we release the album, and I don't put it on digital for a couple of months. So it hits digital and the shops on the 24th of November. So we do it. We have 2 months.
That's me clamped a wee bit there, isn't it?
Say again.
That's me clamped a wee bit there, isn't it?
A tiny bit. I'll tell you. Put it this way, right? So we before, if you sell it, you via a label, how we were originally, we got what? A couple of quid, if that, if you're lucky, to be honest. Now we get about 70%. Do you know what I mean? If you got, nice. That's it. Just distribution, that's all you do. That's it. And so now, put it this way, right? We broke even on day 2.
Love it.
That was it. We've paid for the next album. This one's paid for. We've done everything. So you know what? If it doesn't sell a one shop thing, it doesn't matter because we've already done it. You know, I had 3 days where I was up till 3 a.m. packaging. It was that mental because people were just like, it just blew up. It was great, and it's still, the merch sales have been, honestly.
I can see you sealing the envelopes before you put the CD in it.
Do you know what? Right, I was that. I'll be honest, I was that fucked doing it. And Ben said, do you want some help? And I was like, if someone else comes, I'll probably fucking kill him because I got a routine. I was that knackered that it was getting to a point going, I don't even fucking know where I'm up to. I'm just like, if I've sent you one, you can have another, fuck it. Because it was just that point. And it was so bad that the post office actually now will only let me take 5 things in at a time. It was that I was just going in like 3-4 times a day, nipping out like on my dinner and after work and before. It's like, hey, how you doing? You all right? Sorry about this. This is to here. This is to there. Do you know? I can feel an envelope now and tell you what it weighs wherever it is. I can tell you exactly the postage for America to a penny. That's it.
Can I just say, by the way, regarding the artwork and whatnot, I just want to shout out to Aidan for that.
Well, it is a question that I do ask later on because I want to know the story behind that artwork. So we will come back to the artwork later on, so you can mention his name again later. But going back to the album then, Bleeding the Ghost, how did it feel to finally get the album out there after all the blood, sweat and tears that you put into it? Because I can imagine some of the songs are quite old and you're fed up playing them.
Honestly, yeah and no. I love live now. They're just like, we've been playing them now we played a couple last year and then we've been playing them most this year. And to be honest, most of the set now is just new stuff. We're doing a couple of the old, we're only doing 1 song off Faces of War and the other old ones are off the first album, really, to be honest, because people are just reacting to it so good and people are, singing and it's like great. But I'll be honest, the recording was, it started off and we went in and we all go in, we did the drums. And the one bit that I've learned is that next time we'll definitely edit the drums earlier on.
Right.
We should have done. I went in, I fucked up straight away. I went in with the wrong sounds and everything like that. Wasn't in the right frame of mind. It was more paranoia because I was like, this has got to be massive. And it took me a bit. It took me for Ben to go, that sounds shit. Okay.
Ben, can I just say, do you know how Dan throws everybody else out the band? What would it make sense to throw Dan out the band?
There will be less than him.
Yeah.
There will be. To be fair, he is basically 90% of the band is Dan with everything he does. But yeah, Can we throw you out, Dan?
Yeah, I'd try.
We'll just get. Listen, we can get James to play your parts because he's better than you anyway.
Probably could. You probably could. I'll be honest, doing it, the bit that gave me the clarity was because it was when Ben came in and Ben came down. I'm not joking. He just came down and he's like a machine. You put Ben in the studio and he's a machine. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like track after track. He can hear one little thing and it's like, oof, right, there you go. And he just nailed it. He just would have, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we're doing it. Now we're cooking. Then Ben put guitar down as well. It was like, yeah, now we really are cooking. This is great. But it got to the point of, I'll be honest, you're hearing stuff. I think what I did that was, and most of the mistakes, to be honest, were mine throughout it, was that I'd be sending just mixes early. Hey, listen to this. And then you get Stu go, well, I can't hear this. I need this up. And then Ben would go, well, I can't hear this. And then it gets to a point going, which version should I be listening to?
It was very confusing, really. And
confusing. That was my point. I should not have. I should have just waited till later and gone, just fucking wait. That was it. And so it even got to a point where I'm going, I don't know what the fuck I'm listening to now.
I mean, I just don't know how you do it, Dan. Every time I talk to you, you always answer like 3 questions ahead. So
sorry, that was it. I'll be honest, but
I thought we said off air. You were just going to say yes or no, and that was it. And Ben would talk.
Okay, sorry, sir. Apologies.
Fuck's sake. But am I right in saying then that Faces of War was your last album with original material because Revisions was an acoustic album of fans' favourites? Then you released a 10-year anniversary of your debut, Welcome to the Institution. So am I right in saying it's 2017 since Faces of War?
Yeah, it's about 20. I think it was 20. I think I actually fucked up on the artwork and it was 2018, I think. I was drinking a lot.
So, so I'm right in saying then you've got six years to write 9 songs. And I was thinking, are you incredible? Do you know, I was actually, because it was 6 years for 9 songs, I was actually thinking this was going to be a doom metal record. It took you that bloody long to write it. So
I'll be honest, honestly, the thing is that I had an idea what I wanted to do. And I spent time doing it. And even though the original stuff didn't come to fruition, I knew where I wanted to go and I've gone that way. But it was just a case of, you've got to be right in the right frame of mind for fucking writing. And to be honest, the thing that got me motivated was Ben. That was it. I'll be honest, that's my nice thing.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's kind of, with everything that was happening, it was kind of us two getting together in Dan's back garden, trying to write. Like, it's what I think kept us both going, kept us sane. Basically.
I was quite emotional there, by the way. I almost brought a tear to a glass eye.
I'll be honest, that was really nice. That was the nicest thing you've ever said. I'm sorry that I joked when you had the lab tickets.
No, okay.
But see, this is where you went on next. Like going to the recording of that album, how was the recording for you all? I mean, did it take you a good few goes before you were happy with the performance? Was there a song that you had to keep on recording over and over again? You were fed up with it by the time it got its final mix?
Well, there's a couple of songs because we did the drums and then Dan started laying his guitar bits down and he sent some over and I was like, your guitar tone doesn't sound right. And it didn't. It just is weird. So you were having a few off days at first, weren't you, Dan? And then it kind of then just clicked with him. He had a bit of a break, it clicked, and then we kind of just cracked on, really. It was, I hate going in the studio.
I know why. Is it because you're the only one playing and everybody's looking at you?
No, it's because I feel like I'm going to fuck up all the time.
Yeah.
So I kind of get stressed, even though I might not show it inside. I'm like, you better not fuck up, you better not fuck up. But at the same time, I love doing it because you're getting down the music that you're wanting.
Yeah.
But it was a good laugh. Stressful at times.
Yeah. So
But yeah, it was kind of,
how long was it? Was it like 3 or 4 weekends, or how did it pan
God
out?
no. Started in September last year. I think we finished everything April,
Yeah, something
was
like
it?
that. Yeah, so we did full days and that. It was just
Yeah.
I fucked up. I went in. I was like, I had all this vision during lockdown. I spent like thousands on buying shit. I was like, you know what? I know
Guitars.
what. Yeah, man, I bought fucking everything. And I kid you not, I went to the studio, right, with, I think I took 10 guitars, fucking 4 different amp heads, like probably about 40 effects units, right? So I was like, this is what we're going to use. I'm going to use my Jeff Waters guitar. I'm going to use this amp and it's going to sound like this. And it was just like, this sounds shit. And I knew it. And Mick, the engineer's going, it's sounding good in it. And I'm there going, it sounds fucking awful. And I needed Ben to go, Ben said it sounds shit. And I was like, and I went back and I was like to Mick, and Mick was so into this. Mick, the engineer, he was so motivated by this. He was so excited with the songs. And he just said, it's great in it. I went, it sounds fucking awful, man. I don't know what it is. And we went back through everything and we ended up using my live amp that I've used for 10 years and my cheapest fucking guitar ever. And we had the sound. And it was like, what the fuck have I bought all this shit for?
And the bits I laid down on guitar, I just plugged straight into a head.
Jeff Waters' head.
Yeah, Jeff Waters' head.
I was going to comment on that later. Uh-huh.
Using a £350 Yamaha guitar. And basically, as soon as we turned on, it was like, okay, that sounds spot on. That head is beautiful.
Thanks, Jeff.
It honestly, it is. I just because we plugged in, I played it, and we were both just like, that's the sound. Okay, let's start putting down what I need to do. And also, we've got a new bass pedal, and I think that just it was. I think the bass pedal that we use, which is a dark glass pedal,
Yeah,
is a sound that I think Promethium have always missed. That kind of dirtiness. I think it's something that they've always had fantastic bass players with their own sounds, but I think Promethium have always needed that little bit of grit in this pedal brought it to the table, basically.
I'll agree. And that was it. It was just like that. And then I think the bit then was like, then we were sort of, the problem we got was we were waiting for James. And James, we'd heard a bit of the lyrics and he'd come round and I'd heard some stuff and he was like, I was like, I like this, but you don't realize how good it is. You need to emphasize things here. And we started off with James. And I remember we had our guy, Sam, who's like our tech and merch guy, come down. And we did about half an hour with James. And even Sam's looking at me going, okay, I'm a bit worried now. And even I'm going, yeah, I'm a bit worried. Just like we just weren't in the zone at all. And I just said to him, I said, you know what your problem is, James? I went, you're thinking about it too much. Just go in there and do what the fuck you want. I said, there's the guideline. And that was it. And we realized what to do then. And James literally, every song was a 4-hour session. We had an hour, which was fucking around, listening to the shit, just getting ready. An hour of him performing it. An hour of him then doing the harmonies. And then listening back. And then we were done. And we didn't have to go back and do anything. So we had a 4-hour thing for each song. But he literally... he's the most, what I love about the studio, I love how you get inspired. I mean, he comes in and what he does with vocals, he sings, puts a great performance down, but then when he does a harmony, he comes in, there's a piano, he writes the harmony on the piano, and then he goes in, sings the harmony, but doesn't have the vocals. He won't listen to the vocals. So the vocals aren't playing. Yeah. It's just enough. Comes in at this point. And you're like, the fuck? And it works. And he's just like, his ear is that good. Yeah. And the same with Andy. Andy comes in with fucking, I mean, he's got some great amps, but he came in with the cheapest of cheapest guitars. And the thing about Andy's playing is just fucking in his hands. And he's just like a machine. And he came down and he was like, okay, I get you. I've now got to get my game on to fucking match this shit. And it's great. And we feed off one another. And that's what's great about it. But it's just a great bunch of lads who inspire one another. That's the thing about it. So honestly, I couldn't ask for more, and I'm so fucking lucky to be around these guys, to be honest. Oh. God, that was gay.
Do you know what? I was about to say that's the second time you've got me emotional here. I've never seen this side to you, Dan.
You're all pricks. All
right. As you probably guessed, Ben, you can swear, but I don't like the C word. I don't like saying see you next Tuesday. But for those that are eagerly awaiting the album, then, how would you say it compares to your earlier material, and particularly Faces of War, because that was the last original material? And do you think you've found the sound that you've been looking for with this new material?
Bin everything else. Bin it. Just burn it. Just get to be honest, the back catalogue, which has always done well, has been flying out for new people who haven't bought it before, which has been great. So that's been really cool. But now I think the
first ever interview I had, you had boxes of merch behind you all the time.
Yeah.
But now I can see the floor now.
Yeah,
you must be doing all right.
I know we're doing well. I mean, to be honest, the back catalogue has been flying out. It's been great.
Good.
But the whatchamacallit, it's there. Is it quite where I want it? No. The next one will definitely be. I know where we've gone wrong, and we've gone wrong more. And you always learn every time you go in the studio. You always learn something. You learn where you fucked up, what you've done wrong, what works, what doesn't. I know what the next one, but I know this has been a step up production-wise, and I know what I'll do for the next one to be a step up. But having the guys around, great guys and good songwriters. God, I'm going gay again, aren't
I? One of the old members, Kev, he's watching our latest gig, and he turned around and said, in this lineup, with the sound that we have, we make the older stuff sound at its best. And it sounded great beforehand. But he said it's at a different level now with the lineup and just the equipment. Yeah, he was probably pissed at the time.
He was pissed.
But yeah. I think one song we will always play is Won't Break Me, though. Won't Break Me is...
Yeah, I think we're going to record that for the next album with James. So I think that's something. But no, it's just great. We've got a good bunch of guys. It's really cool. And what's nice is all the old members are supportive as well. Do you know what I mean? It's never, we haven't lost friendships with anyone or anything like that. Good. You know, I mean, Kev, our old drummer, he's done our new music video. We've got another one we're doing with him. We're shooting another two because he's got like a company that he's doing that with now.
Stop answering my questions.
Also, you didn't hear that. Yes.
Who's Kev?
But yeah, as personal favourite for myself, obviously the title track, Bleeding the Ghost. I also liked Healing Your Sin. I also like the ballad of Manhattan as well. So yeah, I mean the reviews that I've read, like obviously at Moshville Times, and I think the other one was Planet Mosh that I read. The biggest compliment that you really got was the sound, the overall sound. Do you feel like if you had the sound that you had for this album compared and had it on the previous albums, do you think?
Do you know what? Honestly, I think you've got to go through this sort of like the thing that I love getting albums, and you get them, and you get them remixed and remastered, and stuff like that, and you get it, and you sort of hear differences and stuff like that, like the new Winger one, which I won't get into because it probably upset certain people.
I'm wearing a penny coffin shirt, death metal, when you're talking about Winger.
Kit Winger's amazing. Have you seen his ballet?
I think you spoke about Striper the last time.
Oh God, don't get it.
Want me to get onto that?
No, you're quite all right. We're running out of time in this 40-minute segment.
But it's one of these. It's like I think you've got to go through this phase, and you do it with bands. You see bands that have they progressed with the sounds, and you've seen different. Like look at Lamb of God. Look at the first recordings with them. How it progressed and how they are now. And I think that's it. And would I have liked to have this sound before? Yeah, but I think sometimes you've got to find yourself. But I also think these songs are some of the best that we've done. Well, yeah. I think they are the best we've done, and I think we found it. That's it. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. You get better as songwriters, and you learn more as you go along. Yeah, we're not one of these bands
I think the next album will probably have a similar sound. The music will be slightly different, but I think the equipment we used, will probably get used again, unless Dan and Andy get other guitars or.
Well, do you know, Ben, that's what I actually find funny. What is Dan going to do with his 37 guitars that he bought, and he uses the one that he's been using for 10 years?
God knows.
So, funny. That's funny. Right. Well, thanks very much for that, guys. But yeah, so what I particularly like in a band or love in a band is having more than one vocalist. So, I like seeing you in live videos and also seeing on the inlay of the new album, you're put down, Dan, as a gang vocals. But I just wondered if there was something that Promethium was thinking of doing. Like, obviously, the James will do 95% of the vocals, but I was wondering if there was going to be more backing vocals, maybe other guys in the band doing vocals as well.
Yes, we've said we've got to do it. We haven't, and we've definitely. I'll admit we have proper ballsed up, and we should have practiced more because we need to do it. We need to end the story. There's no doubt. And so we've talked about it, and I'm probably going to do a tiny bit and just go from there. I can do some of the stuff. So I think we're just going to have to we're going to have to just suck it up, especially for what we've got on for next year. Yeah. So, yeah, we are going to have to. I balls. That's, again, my fault. So, yes.
So, Ben, what's his voice like singing live?
Imagine Dave Mustaine, but
worse.
Just imagine Dave Mustaine.
Yeah, that's it. That's the only voice I can do.
Yeah, because I'd imagine there's a few bits in the album that James can't do, like he did in the album, or like he did in the recording, like compared to the live front. So he's going to need you to come in.
Yeah, we've done. There's a couple. We've got by on the stuff we've done. We've got by on it, but to be honest, we've got to show the songs off, so they need to be done on it. Do you know what I mean? We've got by. I've just done a couple little things from here and there where we've done stuff, and he brought the mic over and so. But yeah, we've got to do, and we will do. Me and James have talked, and we've sort of been doing a bit of practicing, sort of thing.
Right. So next time, then
next year,
I can do a bit of shouty stuff, but that's all you can get from me.
Well,
you don't want to hear me sing it.
We were talking about it off air, Ben. We were talking about Killswitch Engage and what's the other band? Oh, what's your major influence?
Metallica.
No.
Killswitch, Lamb of God.
Lamb of God, that was it. So, with you being in previous bands and with those kind of influences that you have, do you bring those influences into Promethium as well, or do you keep them totally separate? Have you tried to bring them in, and Dan or James was just like, nah?
From a musical point of view, you can hear bits. One other person, actually, which has kind of influenced me is Steve Harris.
Yeah.
Now, Maiden, he loves to do power chords on the bass, and I do a fair few, and I've added them onto some of the older songs as well because I just think it makes it sound beefier. But one thing I've actually learned kind of as I've got older is where to keep the bass simple.
Yeah.
So I'll keep. That's where Metallica comes in. Keep it simple while the guitars are doing something else. But some of the harmonies have kind of inspired by Killswitch. Some heavy bits as well, like just little snippets are kind of Killswitch, Chimera, Lamb of God-esque. Like the middle of what song is it?
That's good. Good.
Trees. There you go. The middle of Trees, the guitar bit when solo comes in, that is definitely kind of Killswitch, Lamb of God inspired. Just the style of it.
Yeah. So, it's good. It's good to see that you didn't get your ideas kicked out.
Oh no, definitely not. I don't. That's the thing about it. There's never now an idea that's not bad. It's like we've got a list of 7 ideas for the new things, and we've got through it, and no idea is not listened to, and no idea is bad. Yeah. It just might be reworked, might be redone, might not fit. But it was like we did. Like Ben brought My Fate to the album, and it's a brilliant track. It's great. It was probably the hardest track that James did, and James doesn't like the track because he does like it, but he doesn't like it because of what happened in the studio, because he struggled with that one the most. And I think I really pushed him on that, and just because it wasn't as natural as the others.
Yeah.
But he did such an amazing job, and I think his performance on it is great. And it was a wild card song, and it's a wild card that really works. And it was one I thought that we were going to get a lot of flack for, and we didn't. In fact, it was stuff that people really, really liked. And Ben's already he's brought a song to the new album that he was like, I don't know about this. I'm like, yeah, we're using this. This is gonna be cool. Don't worry about that. And that's the thing. Do you know what I mean? I'll bring the commercial stuff. He brings the stuff that's not quite, and it works. That's it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can tell on the album which one I brought and then we've worked on, and you can tell what Ben's brought and we've worked, and it works. Do you know what I mean?
Well, if it sounds like Winger, it's yours. Aye.
Oh, definitely.
But so since we were talking about James quite a bit there, with him being the vocalist of the band, then did he write all the lyrics for the album, or do all members contribute to lyrics? And I was wondering if you can give like some of the lyrical themes for the album. The one that I'm interested in, and I know that we've talked about before, and it's theirs to be talked about again, is Murder, She Wrote.
Go on, Dan.
Dan being off his nut. It's Murder, She Wrote was like the story of it, like, is obviously it was after lockdown. I'd gone to the gym because my lad wanted to go to the gym. I'd not been able to lift what I thought I could, and you go with your lad and you want to show off, and I was like trying to show off, but I've not been to the gym in 2 years, and of course I leave the gym in pain. We then go again the next day because he's got this cool dad who is in agony now. And like I said, when I came home, I was in so much pain that the wife just like, go to bed. Here's a hot water bottle. I was like, I can't move.
Hot water bottle.
Yeah, here's a hot water bottle. And here's some of my industrial painkillers, which, like I said, I was off my nut, in bed, off my nut. And the only thing that was on TV was Murder, She Wrote. And I'm watching it just off my nut, like just with saliva coming out. And it's the one episode where she isn't in it, which was fucking with my head completely. And then she comes in, and I'm looking at just like, the fuck is it? And she's just like, it's okay. This is the episode she's not in, because she knows me that well. She knows even when I was trash. She knows what I'm saying. And I was like, and then I had this idea afterwards, and I was like, what if she? And I'd seen the stuff always online about like she is the serial killer, she killed them all sort of thing. I thought, what if we were to do a song like that? And the first thing I wrote was I heard the melody in my head. I wrote the pre-chorus and I wrote the chorus, and then I wrote the lyrics. So I wrote the lyrics for the pre-chorus and the chorus. James changed it slightly, but I said, listen, right, I've got an idea. It's a commercial idea. I think this could be cool. This is it. And he was like, yeah, cool. And then he went away and created the story, and the verse, lyrics, and the story I think are brilliant. I think it's really cool. I just come up with this. I had this idea in my head, this like sort of like catchy sort of thing. And it just worked. That was it. So I did that, and that was it. There was just a couple of, to be honest, James did literally all of it. I just came in and changed the little ideas. The main idea, to be honest, that he came in with was when he came in with Bleeding the Ghost and he sang it, and I was like, you don't realize how good that chorus is. I said, you've got to I said, this chorus is brilliant. I said, but you're not singing it. The lyrics are perfect, but you're not singing it right. And James is very much like, he's very much like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And I was like, no, you've got to like this. And it took him a bit. I said, just think a tiny bit, like Chris Cornell sort of thing, and just sort of do a bit of staccato. And we got this melody, and he was like, I get it. And that's the one thing that I helped him on this album. I sort of like said, listen, go out your box, go out your comfort zone. Like, you've got your lyrics are perfect. Just think about how you're singing them and you're doing it. And as soon as I did that and gave him the free range, that's it. And honestly, to have James in the studio, to watch him to do it, it's just so much fun. It's like that.
And is this his first band?
Yeah, this is his first time.
Yeah.
He's just done his stuff on his own. That's it. It's like his first proper band, and he's done great. And even live now, he's finding his balls totally. He's proper. He's hilarious. He's really good. But
that's because he feels you watching him.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. Well, him and most of the other women. But
yeah. But now we're going to talk about the artwork of the album. So if you want to repeat who done it for you, but what I'm also interested in is like, what information did you give him to draw the artwork? Did you give him all the songs? Did you give him all the lyrics, or was it just something in your head? This is what we want. What did you give him to do the artwork?
Well, so it was actually Aidan, the previous drummer, who did it all. So shout out to Aidan, definitely. It was a case of well, it's kind of mainly Dan said this is kind of the idea we're going down. And then he just started creating stuff. And then I don't know, he did well just doing everything himself. But then the thing that we kept arguing about was Promethium, the colour and where it should be situated. So like Dan's like, we need it at the top. I'm like, well, why don't we have it lower down? Because every album ever made, for the most part, the writing's at the top. If you have it that further down, it'll be more eye-catching. I don't know. And then
so it is.
we all agreed, yeah. And then right, we need this red. And I was like, well, I don't like that red. I prefer this. And then like Andy was like, oh, I prefer that. And Stu was like, well, I prefer that. So Aidan, bless him, had Dan saying, right, this is what everyone is saying. Oh no, actually we want to do this now. Oh no, we want to do this. So it's a hybrid of all of us. So we're not, I think it's safe to say we're not all happy, 100% happy with it in the sense that we didn't all get our own way, but we're happy with the outcome, with how good it was.
I just stopped ignoring what everyone was fucking saying. I was like, this is what we did. I have to admit, we did it, and the person, the two people that I'll give sort of credit for ideas that were good was a good friend Nico in Belgium, like who's like sorts of our stuff out for gigs over there and like reviewer. He's like a really, really close friend, and he said it's got to be red. It's got to be red. It's got to be this. That's it. And I was like, okay. And if he says it, he's always right. So I'm like, right, I trust you. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
But then Sam, our merch guy, was like, he was just like, you know, I love it, but this is some thoughts I had. And he had ideas. And if you have a look, there's little things on the logo and the artwork to do with Promethium, like signs and the PM on there. Why don't we put this on my... I was like, fucking hell, that's a great idea. That's really, really cool. But the one thing Sam said as well, and he was right totally, was originally it was a ghost that was in there. And he was like, you've got to go back to your person that's in the gas mask, which we've used. And he's like, you're right, let's do that. And I just didn't think at all because we've been using that for so long. And it was just like, yeah, that because it's part of our sort of thing, you know. And he was like, why did I not think of that? And so, yeah, but Aidan just nailed it. Aidan was just like, we did have one, the first one he sent us, which was like, this is ace. It was too much. It was Dan Power Metal, this cover that he sent. It was like, straight away, he was like, this is brilliant. This is unbelievable. Then, of course, then it's like, I need someone to go, it's great, but Dan, it's Power Metal. You know,
yeah, we're not trying to be winger.
Yeah. So it de-danned and de-winged.
Well, the album Bleeding the Ghost is definitely the best sound, definitely your best songs, definitely your best artwork. The guitarist. Anyway, so yeah, no, all good. I'm liking what I'm hearing, so fair play to you guys. But keeping on in the visual side of the album, I noticed that you've done like a studio video for Bleeding the Ghost. But I know that you guys aren't exactly camera shy either. For doing videos, and you talked about it a wee bit earlier, Dan, when I asked my first question about what you guys have been up to. So what other videos do you have in store with us? Are you going to have lyric videos, or do you have like you're going to go into the woods and you're going to have lights behind you or something like that? Who's the visual guy in the band?
Doing that. No, we've got another video that's going to be dropping probably in the next 2 weeks, just before the album gets released properly in the shops on the 24th of November. 24th of November. All right.
24th of November.
The shops. 24th of November.
November 24th.
Yeah. Are you allowed to say what song you're doing the video for?
Yeah, we got Priest. So the song Priest is coming out. That's like, again, it's shot during the making of the album. So it's like a bit another studio one. And it's got lyric over it, sort of thing. So it's a studio lyric video.
I thought there was going to be a priest in the video as well.
We were thinking of that.
Yeah.
But then
we're getting... Go on.
No, I was going to say, and then we're going to do, we're really, even though we're already on, we've starting to write for the next one, we still got a lot of promotion with this. So we're going to shoot another 3 or 4 videos. So I think we're doing one we're definitely doing Knives Out. I think we're doing My Fate, and it's likely we're probably going to do Murder, She Wrote as well. So they're going to be the big budget video style thing. We've got some good ideas for those. So Knives Out will be the next one we do.
You should have put some audio samples of Murder, She Wrote in the song Murder, She Wrote as well. Just your favourite lines or something like that. Or
well, that was the thing. What was funny was, no word of a lie, right? The amount of publicity we've actually got to do online with Angela Lansbury has been unbelievable. Like, I mean, like someone pulled us up on Instagram for it that got so many hits, it was ridiculous. I was selling CDs, and I was getting messages that were just like, "I bought this because I'm a massive Murder She Wrote fan. I wanted to see what it sounded like." I was like, "Okay, what sort of music into you?" He said, "Oh well, I like classical." I'm like, "Okay, all right, this is going to be pretty." But we've got some beautiful messages from it, you know, and it's been great on that. So we're going to put a song about Magnum on the next album.
Well, I was waiting for you to finish there. I was going to say, are you doing Poirot next album or something like that?
We're going to do the crossover Murder She Wrote Magnum episode, which I don't know if you know was a 2-parter.
Oh,
yeah, we're doing that.
Well, we're getting so Kev of FYM Productions, who shot the video, he's doing everything on that side of things. He's doing a lot of photos. He's got a new camera, so the next video, the new camera he's got is absolutely outstanding. So I think it's going to just take it that extra little bit. But Kev's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Really
so who's the visual one in the band saying, right, guys, for the next video, we're going to do this or something like that, or Murder She Wrote, we're actually going to play the music, but we're going to act out an episode of Murder She Wrote or something like that? Who's the guy that's got the brains to do the videos?
So to be honest, right, this was the thing. We're gonna. I've done bits of storyboards that I've got to sort of share and do stuff, but to be honest, a lot of it's down to sort of Kev's ideas that we're sort of going to go with really on it. Yeah, and we sort of talked about that and had a big chat because he works with us as well. I employ everyone. Yeah. So he's already got some ideas. So we sort of know what we're going to do, and we're going to do another band performance style one, and one that's going to be an old school sort of storyline with a tiny bit of band sort of thing in. So we're going to do 3 totally different videos. That especially, and also,
I was going to say my fate might have a bit a November Rain feel to it.
Very
possibly.
Very. We've got a theatre we're doing. So it's going to be. We've got an orchestra that's going to do. So it's going to be like a massive thing. That one.
Is it?
It's going to be so over the top. It'll be ridiculous.
Is there somebody going to be behind you with a trumpet or something like that?
It's not far off. It's going to be fucking mental. It's going to be ridiculous. The funniest thing was, we were talking about it. We've got this plan, and we've got the theatre that we've got to shoot it. It's beautiful. It's a really nice theatre. We've got the orchestra that's going to play. We've got my mate who's done it, who's done the strings, who's going to conduct. And we said, and we sort of said, hey, why don't we do it? And we'll do it a bit like, you know, like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, where we'll all be in suits sort of playing. And then he was like, no, why don't we do it? But we like sort of tailor the suits sort of to how we are. So, you know, I'd have the sleeves ripped off and sort of thing, as if it'd be like, it's fucking brilliant. Yeah, let's do it. So, yeah, it'd be totally and utterly sort of damned to fuck. Totally. There'd be so much denim in there, it'd be ridiculous.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. But also with the world opening its doors then, you guys, you've played gigs, but what gigs do you have coming up? What are you going to do to promote this album? Do you see yourself doing like a 4 and 5 date UK tour or something like that?
We're just getting the final dates sorted for next year now. We're back over in Belgium again in April, so we've got a few dates there. We've got a few more UK.
Is that like a band swap type thing that you're doing, or is it just somebody?
No, it's just the promoter we work in. So we were supposed to go during lockdown, then that didn't happen, and then we couldn't do that the next year when it opened up because we were in the studio, and so we've had to. So we're like it's 3 years since is it 4? Might be 4. I can't remember now. Since we've been, I think
4 years.
Yeah,
it'll be 5 years when we go.
Yeah, so I think it's that long. So we're gonna go then and do that, and then when we've done that, then we've got the big thing that we've got next year that's just been announced. We're on whatchamacallit. We're on Love Rocks, which has been announced. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's been the announcement on that. The amount of publicity we've got and like sales just from people going, I didn't even know you. This is great. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm really looking forward to that's the big one down in Dover. That's June next year. Which turns out it's my wife's birthday weekend, which I didn't realise, which has caused me a lot of shit.
I'll just bring it with you. What was I going to say? Do you see yourself crossing the border?
Yes, I will be able to confirm that probably in the next week. So we've got, It looks like we've got 2 sorted for that. Good. So I'll let you know as soon as we have word on that. But yeah,
I'm sure the Welsh fans will be happy to see you then. Because we're not letting you in. We're not letting you in. Yeah, no, that's cool. Thanks. I've only got a couple of questions left. But now that your fifth album's out, you're already writing for your sixth. In fact, I'll leave that to later. Your fifth album's out. You've got a 40-minute set list. What song are you looking forward to playing on the set list and why? So, Ben, you've got 10 songs on your set list or whatever like that. What's the song that is fifth song in or something like that? And you're just like, this is the one I can't wait because it's got a bass solo in it or something. Or just Dan not allow you to have bass solos?
No, if I want to write a bass solo, I'll bloody write one, but I don't like, I wouldn't like to do one anyway. Knives Out is fun to play.
Yeah.
Like I love playing that. It can, it's just you do have to make sure that you're kind of on it. You really do, to make sure the stops are kind of working. But there is a slight little bass bit in there which I'm not actually bothered about. But it's just such a fun song to play, and it's got so many components, and it's about 3.5 minutes long, but it feels like it should be longer because of the component. But yeah, I'll say Knives Out. I'll go with.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd say that, but I have to admit now, because we've done it last couple of gigs, I have to admit I love playing Catfish, even though it's the hardest song to play. I enjoy playing it because then you get this feeling of relief when it finishes 2.5 minutes later. I did it.
It's easy for you, but it's difficult for the other guys.
It's just the one song that it's like when you're playing it, you wouldn't think it's the hardest song, but it is the hardest song to play because it's just how the rhythm is, and you've just got to be on it, and you can't have one beat out of place. And I think it's more the fulfillment that we did it. We actually did it. We didn't balls up, and no one messed up or anything like that. And it's also I've got a solo in there that as soon as the solo finishes, I'm back onto the rhythm, and it's like straight away. And I enjoy playing it because you just like afterwards, it's a feeling of fulfillment that I have done it. I have proved myself right that I can play this song.
Good stuff. Listen, guys, I really appreciate your time tonight, but I do just have the one question. We're going to talk about the make and model of the instruments that you used for the recording of the album. So this is where you can be a geek. I'm scared. I'll probably need to another 40-minute session for Dan alone. But tell us your setup, Ben. Tell us your bass, your amps, your pedals. Because I definitely don't see you as being the geek of the band. You're a 4-string bassist. That's it. You're not even 5.
I am a 5-string bass player.
I knew you were.
No, so I've got a fairly cheap but lovely sounding 5-string black Yamaha bass. Can't remember the model number because Yamaha like to put loads of numbers and digits afterwards. They don't actually have a set. It's not like the Pacifica back in the day. It's just like the BRX T5 T1000. I go through a dark glass microtubes B7K Ultra preamp with distortion. It's actually not distortion. The official switch on it is grunt. So it's grunt pedal, and then just go into whatever head is available. But I love Ashdown cabs and heads because they're powerful. We won't talk about blowing it. But yeah, it's I just love the sound because when they're clean, they're really clean. But when you need to really ramp it up, they handle it and give you the dirty sound that you want. That's the thing when you look at Ashdown as well with just the logo, you don't think they can be as dirty as they actually are.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
But
yeah. I love Ashdown. If you listen, Ashdown.
Worth a try. Absolutely. But that's just the question I've been scared to ask most throughout this interview. Right, Dan, on you go.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to go and get everything?
Yeah, just the one that you used. I don't care about your 37. Just the one.
I used 3 guitars on the amp, but honestly, and I've got it here. Funnily enough, because I was playing it before. The main guitar I used was seriously just my Epiphone Jeff Waters. That was it. Which is like the cheapest guitar I own, and it sounded great. That was it. I used.
Is that not the one that Jeff Waters sold and you bought it?
No, that's just there behind me.
I can't see it. Can't see it. Go and get it.
Having a nap at them. Do you want to get up?
Go and get it.
Jeez,
God.
Come on. You're a good girl.
Cut him off now.
You're a good girl, he says.
It's okay. Sorry for waking you up. Oh, how I love you. I'm sorry. Sorry.
So this is the one that Jeff Waters sold.
This is the one.
Did he even sign it for you?
I don't want him to fucking sign it.
Why not? Look at that.
Because I've got a DVD that he made for it. All right.
Have you actually played it yet? He's too scared to touch it.
Yeah, I've played it. But yeah, no, this is, and I use this, and this is, I just use this for the solos. This is my babe. However, when I recorded the rhythms on it, it sounded shit. So I didn't use it. Yet it worked on the last album, but this it didn't. But
did you feed that back to him?
No, I didn't. I did message him, right? I did message him, right? Because he does comment when I put posts up here and then. We had the odd message. I said, I really struggled with the ran in the studio. It was like, and he said, oh, right, okay. But it's okay because I used the cheaper Jeff Waters one and that worked all right. But your Laboga head was really good. Really told me after that.
Did he unfollow you? Unfriended?
No, I don't know. That was it. His sister messaged me. She said, I find it so funny. She said, you're such a whore to him, aren't you? I was like, she went, he's a dick, you know, and I know. So that was it.
I saw him supporting Testament, Annihilator. He's fucking...
Oh, yeah.
He's well built.
Live, he's unbelievable. I think he's great. I think he's cool. I just wanted to use that guitar and it just did not work. And it was just weird that the cheapest guitar sounded the best. So
so what's your pedals and your amps and stuff?
I tell you what, now this is the other funny thing, right? So I just use my normal Marshall. No, I'll tell you this now. So I used my normal Marshall Mode 4 that I used that worked, and I used the Laboga a bit. I've got a Kirk Hammett tube screamer that I use for solos that worked, and I've got an Eddie Van Halen flange. But the funniest thing was I was trying to get this amp to use on the album, and I was desperate to get, because I used Mode 4 for years, I was trying to get Alex Skolnick from Testament, right? He used to use the Marshall Mode 4s, and then he went to use Buddha. They made this amp. Buddha never really put this amp into production, couldn't get hold of it whatsoever, just could not get hold of it. It just just came out and disappeared, just had no promotion. I tried to get one, couldn't do it whatsoever. No one had one, couldn't get anything. And then I messaged Buddha. I even had a talk with a guy in America who was like, we can try, but we really struggled. And I was like, I just want to buy this fucking amp. And so finally, I put this post on Facebook and just like, I want to buy this fucking Buddha amp. I said, no fucker will fucking help me. It's fucking ridiculous. I didn't realize, but I tagged Alex Skolnick in it, right? Alex Skolnick actually messaged me, right, and said, I'll help you get one. So not only did he help me get one in the UK, I actually ended up getting the prototype that was originally built that was in the UK by the guy who actually built it. He used to work at PV and Marshall and Buddha and everything. Wow. And I was like, fucking awesome. So I've got the prototype Alex Skolnick, which I didn't use in the recording. That was it. Got it, didn't use it. But Andy borrowed it the other week and was like, we should have really used this on the recording. It sounds fucking great. I was like, yeah, no, I just couldn't be asked. I was in a bad mood.
I told you, Ben, there's a common theme when there's faults in the band. There's a common denominator in the band.
So I've got a great history behind an amp that I haven't used. It's fucking great.
But when are you going to use the HM2 pedal?
The HM2?
Yeah. Like Swedish death metal. I thought you would have known the HM2 pedal.
Sorry, I did have one.
Did you? I knew you would.
I did. I just can't. It's too. That was back in the day. I'm older.
He's going to use the Metal Zone. He's going to use Metal Zone pedal next.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? Honestly, I brought that much shit to the recording that was still in boxes that I didn't even know I had. Didn't use it. That was it. I bought a Kirk Hammett wire, took it, realised it sounded like Kirk Hammett, so I didn't use it.
Well, I'm going to end this interview by saying I feel sorry for the other band members. I feel sorry for your wife.
You feel sorry for me as well.
I do. I do.
Don't.
But I do love you. I can easily talk to you guys all night. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys.
Thank you so much, dude. It's been a good laugh, man.
I mean, like, we'll definitely not leave it so long the next time. And if you are coming up this way and you're looking for some place to stay, I can recommend you some good hotels. No, if you're looking for somewhere to stay, if you are coming to Glasgow, then you know what to do, man. I've only got one double bed though, but what happens in Glasgow stays in Glasgow.
I love cuddling you, man. All right, dude. But thank you so much, mate.
No worries at all. Thanks a lot, guys.
Right, see you later.
Cheers, bud.